folks, Jen Redfern from Plus Health Company here. If you're tuning in to this tutorial, it's because you know you need to get your hip abductors a little bit more active and hopefully with the purpose of improving function. So it might be that you can walk better, walk further, run perhaps, but just altogether establish better control around your pelvis, which will help you function better as a whole, but particularly through your lower limb. So we're just going to spend a few moments looking at a couple of exercises on our side. There are numerous challenges for us in relation to strengthening around our gluteal muscles, but these are just some of the exercises that you might find easy to go to straight away and to gradually build up with. So the first thing you need to do is lie on your side, and you're much better lying on your side on the floor rather than your bed, which you'll sink into inevitably no matter how firm the mattress. And if it's difficult for you to rest your head on your lower arm, then use a little block or a cushion or a towel rolled up so that you can get really nice position for your head and neck and your arm out in front instead. So that's an option for you. The next thing to do is to imagine that you've just been jacked up a little bit on the lower waist. So create a little space there. You don't have to really work hard, but just a sense of lifting gently so you're not just resting down onto the floor. And keep your lower leg bent and lengthen your upper leg away. Now, thinking about your pelvis before we actually get into our exercise, I'd like you to stack your pelvis so you feel that one side is directly over the other side. Rather than rolling back, there should be a feeling of weight in the supporting knee, like it's glued or anchored onto the floor. And then with the upper arm, use light support and just be aware that your shoulder might be inclined to lift up if it's feeling it's a bit challenging. So just remind yourself from time to time that that area shouldn't really be joining in. So with the leg in line with the waist and the pelvis stacked, become aware of your breath. And when you're next breathing out, lift your leg upwards. And when you breathe in, rest it down. Keep it nice and steady. Moving more slowly can be a greater challenge to the control that is required from your muscles. So whilst it's important that we work at different paces, so we do some exercises more quickly, it's always important to do some more slowly. So it's not just a case of getting them over and done with, folks. It's all about quality over quantity. You might like to start with 4 or 5 of those and gradually build up and trying them on each side. So not just the side you've probably got an issue with, but with both sides. And you can compare notes and keep track of that, perhaps in your diary or on a calendar. Then I'd like you to bend your upper leg and hover it so it sits above the supporting one. Now, keeping centered, so that feeling of gently supporting in your tummy, I'd like you to draw your knee up towards your arm and then take it away. And as you take it away behind you, be cautious to keep your pelvis stacked and your spine very steady. So there isn't a feeling of flaring the ribs and arching your back. You're able to totally and utterly separately move the top leg. As you breathe out, bring the leg forwards, and as you breathe in, take the leg back. And bear in mind that you should always be moving in time with your breath rather than the other way around. Now, when the leg is in a bent position, it's easier to get started with, but if you're able to work towards 10 repetitions and it feels really easy, then all you need to do is straighten the leg, point it forwards and flex it back. And suddenly your leg will feel heavier and it won't take as long before it reaches a point of light fatigue. So go with that, folks, trying initially with 5 and building up towards 10 and then extending the leg as you feel able to. Trying them on both sides. Push through your arm and change ends. So hopefully that's just a couple of exercises to get the gluteal muscles a little bit more active. And then things like your balance will improve. So as you stand on one leg, as you take a step, as you look after your hip and your pelvic muscles better, you will then hopefully notice that that translates into less unnecessary tension elsewhere. For example, in your back or further into your leg. So thanks very much for tuning in. Until next time, bye for now.